Hokey religions and ancient weapons. Match for a good blaster at your side.
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast, the only Star Wars show with absolutely no connections. This episode, we're going to be talking about Porgs, San Diego Comic-Con announcements, Luke's new X-Wing, and the fact that sometimes we read the comics.
Yay.
Welcome to the show. This is Tyler.
Hello, this is Michael.
Welcome
and
back
we're here.
to episode 51.
Hooray. We didn't end the show like I wanted to.
Well, we had our fade out, and then we realized we were nothing without this.
Nothing without the show?
Sure.
That's not true. You know
we
that's not
realized
true.
that we would be less than nothing without the show.
What have you been up to since our 50th episode?
I've still had that song we used for the break in my head, so hopefully all of you have as well. Ba, 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 ba. San Diego Comic-Con happened. There was tons of awesome stuff. Not too much Star Wars because they got that all out of the way with D23.
Yeah,
But
not a lot of stuff going on
we have a little bit. I'm super
in that
excited
lull.
about some of the movies and trailers we saw.
from San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a lot of Star Wars stuff. We're in that lull between like the next...
Between behind the scenes reel and trailer.
Yep. The real trailer and the toys and stuff and then
Yeah.
the movie. That lull in between there. Or wait, no, not in between. We're about to get toys and all that junk. Probably
September is Force
next
Friday,
few months.
I
Yeah.
think. But yep, still no trailer. And the Comic-Con was basically just toys and their booth and then some, book announcements.
What booth? Star Wars booth?
Yeah, like a giant Star Wars booth with toys and of course Hasbro stuff. And
Yeah, right.
the awesome little kids speeder, sand speeder.
Yes.
Luke's
that looks so good.
yes, it's basically a Power Wheels, but it's Luke's speeder.
Yes.
And Michael and I discussed that we want to buy one, put a mini bike motor in it, and
Yep.
then just
And
drive
then
it
ride
around
around the
town
neck.
with our knees to our ears.
Unrelated to the size of the speeder. Our knees will be around our ears.
Huh.
That's not, yeah.
Mine around his around mine, whatever.
However we say it, that's none of your business.
Knees will be by ears. Good day.
At some point. Maybe after we get out of the car. Who knows? That's for us to know and you to not. The point is, we will be getting that speeder.
I want one. It's $500 though. So
Money is nothing.
money is nothing to me.
I must have this.
From all the money that
Money
we get
is no
from
object.
the podcast.
Send it to me.
Send me 5.
Money is no concern. Send me 5 of them. I will have them.
No, I really, really want one for my kids and then for me to modify into some type of
Little motorbike.
Shriner-esque parade mobile that I can just ride around.
That's true.
spin
They
in
do
circles.
ride around. They
Yes,
ride
they do.
around tiny cars
Yeah,
too.
they do. Not in real life, just usually in parades.
Well, yeah, in
I
the
assume not in real
parades.
life. I've never seen them not in a parade, so maybe they do.
That's true. Maybe that's how they exist.
Is
Do
that-
they ride to their? Do they still have little meetings and stuff?
Do they still have little meetings?
Yeah, Shriners.
The meetings don't have to be little like their cars.
Well,
They can have big meetings.
I'm trying to belittle them. Do they still have those meetings? Do they have like
There's
Shriner
still
halls
Shriner
and stuff?
clubs and
That's all
Yeah.
real.
like that and moose lodges. That's a thing.
That's all real.
It's all real.
not-
Old men with nothing.
What do they do? What do Shriners do
I think they just
in those meetings?
They just smoke and do charitable work. I don't know.
Yeah, I never understood that. What's the point behind Shriners? What do
I
they?
don't know.
What's their goal?
I know there's a Shriners Hospital. I don't think it's for Shriners. I think it's a hospital.
Is it staffed by Shriners? That might be a little concerning.
They ride their tiny
Maybe that's
car
a-
into your room to give you a checkup.
I don't know. I don't
Sure.
want. No. Is this a children's hospital? I imagined it was a children's hospital for some reason. The old men riding their tiny car into your child's room and then trying to diagnose you. Diagnose you, not your child. Hey, son. How's it going?
I don't know anything about Shriners, so I'm gonna stop now.
Well, awfully. You look awfully cute in that little hospital gown.
Great. This is what we've come to.
Hey, it's episode 51. We didn't end it when I wanted to.
So
now
we're
you
gonna
get
end it by way of
creepy
force.
perv Shriners. Riding around in little cars.
Sure.
Staring at your children.
Helping them with,
Handing them candy when they don't ask for it.
parades. The only time you can chuck candy at a kid's face and not get in trouble.
You can do it other times. Believe me.
Can you just chuck it at their face?
Just trust me.
Okay. Not your kids, other kids.
Speaking of children, I have a story to tell that
Did your son run away again?
No, thankfully he's
That's
still around. No, this time my wife decided it was a good idea to buy our children fidget spinners. I got a text earlier today.
How have you not told me this already?
This happened today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just a whim?
I got a text from my wife.
At the grocery store, and there's like a fidget spinner by the gum, and she just picks it up.
Apparently, that's almost exactly how it happened.
Okay.
She wanted them to be occupied, so she bought them, fidget spinners. The one thing that is
all children need.
Apparently, the one thing that everybody needs now for some reason. Was there some patent that expired? Is that why those are everywhere now?
Yeah, so the lady that invented them decided to not renew the patent.
Invented what? Ball bearings?
Plastic dandelions flying around on ball bearings, yes. If I remember correctly, the lady with the patent decided to not renew it. Because it was nothing.
Now they're everywhere,
because
and
when
everybody
came up
has
with
to
it,
have one.
no one cared.
Now they're everywhere.
And then they're
Everyone,
everything, and she would be a bajillionaire. Yeah.
Jeez. So my children own these incredible inventions now.
Yeah.
And I played with one for the first time, and it was terrible.
It was a thing that's fun.
It's nothing.
Yes.
It spins. I mean, it's just it's a little thing that spins.
I got one just to see why.
It's
why
over
do they
there. I can
exist?
see it.
Yeah. Why are they? And it's a thing that spins around on your fingers.
I don't understand.
No.
Why? Why is this necessary? Why do my children have them?
We don't have.
Why are they in my
ADD
home?
or whatever?
We don't have enough ADD.
Yeah. We gotta get more ADD.
It seems like the definition of ADD is that you never have enough of it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
An insatiable distraction.
Insatiable? Are you trying to spell out the acronym? What do you do? Insatiable distraction device.
Sure.
What are you trying to do?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we have Star Wars things to talk about.
We do have Star Wars things to talk about.
Sometimes.
So if you remember from the behind the scenes reel of The Last Jedi, we finally saw those little tiny birds from Acto, which we've been calling Porgs, and that was supposedly the name, and it was finally officially announced via StarWars.com, calling them Porgs. And then Pablo, of course, saying that Porgs are native to Acto, can be found dwelling among the cliffs on the islands where Luke and Rey are. In many ways, they're the Star Wars version of puffins. They build nests, they can fly, and their babies are called porglets.
Are these the little things that we heard were taking care of Luke in a way?
That's something like that.
Like there was a native species.
Island inhabitants. I don't know. Maybe they're bringing them fish. I don't know.
There was a native
Space
species
fish.
that built those huts. Remember that?
I don't think Porgs did that because those things are like the size of your hand.
So then what the heck are these things that are building
Maybe they
huts and
stack
taking
up
care
and
of
put on a
Luke?
trench coat and then then they build huts.
Why? Is
5
that?
Porgs in a trench coat can build a hut.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know why.
That's an internet video. 5
Sure.
porgs in a trench coat.
Great. We made a meme.
A meme.
No, so yeah, they're officially
Fidget
called...
spinners and memes.
Awesome.
Dank memes.
We're YouTubers now.
We're oh no.
No, but they are officially called Porgs, and they're of course Acto natives, like we mentioned. So the name has been
they're there.
the name has been officialized, and of course there will be 5 billion different toys of Porgs, I am sure, come next year.
This is the next Jar Jar, isn't it?
I don't think.
I guess they don't talk.
I hope.
I hope they don't talk. Or Ewoks. I guess that would be a better.
Ewoks were awesome.
No, they weren't.
Liked
I
the Ewoks.
completely disagree with that. Ewoks were terrible.
All right, let's get into this.
A little native species, a little cabal of bears that are so stupid. They're stupid to the point where they have no idea what they are or what this thing is, and they manage to beat a legion of trained Imperial forces.
They're amazing murder bears.
The worst, I guess, was it the what's the word in the thing in movies that advances the plot? What's that term? You know what I'm talking about?
What?
There's a term. You don't know what I'm talking about?
What?
There's a term for a thing that only exists in a movie.
Plot device.
No, there's another word for it. What's the word for it?
Upward mobility.
Yes. This was the upward mobility of this movie. No, they were awful. How could they?
I loved them. I loved Ewoks.
How?
How could you? How could you? Okay, so obviously if you think into it deep enough, it makes no sense that they could throw some logs at an ATST and smash its head and prep all of that. Sure, whatever. Or throw sticks and rocks at... So my favorite part is when they're just throwing rocks at stormtroopers that are like walking underneath a log and the stormtroopers are like, "Rah, rah," and like are suddenly crushed from a stick hitting them.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think they were definitely better than Jar Jar.
Are these creatures that only existed in that part of the planet? Or is this a species that's across the entire planet?
I don't know.
Because the invasion was only around, was it the entire planet or was it just around the shield generator?
I'm sure there were more than just 50 of them in all of life.
How are they so organized then? How are they organized enough to launch this coordinated assault on this entire facility?
Hey, they caught a Jedi in a net, but I mean, they got to know something.
How? Yeah, that's my point. How? How are they doing this? They're idiots. They tried to burn a droid. Did they tie up R2? He wasn't in the fire, was he?
I think all of them were tied up. I don't think R2 was
C-3PO
in the
wasn't.
fire. C-3PO was God.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But R2 was tied up.
Yes.
Why? Why?
I thought they were just fine. They were acceptable.
No.
It's
George Lucas's obsession with little cute things that he thinks are cute. Like, oh, this is some shit the kids will like.
Throw that in there. We can make some teddy bears.
Make the entire movie revolve around it. Same thing with Jar Jar and with Ewoks.
I never had a problem with Ewoks. I thought they were fine. Obviously, if you think into it with any sort of depth, their abilities are not what was needed or what was seen to have taken place when their abilities were put into action, like crushing stormtroopers by throwing rocks at them, because that works, or just hitting them with sticks and they're like, "Rah!" and the guys die. So yeah, none of it makes any sense, but better than Jar Jar? Yes.
Is that really your only reason though? Better than Jar Jar?
Isn't that our barometer for Star Wars? isn't that the barometer? It's the low bar.
That's a low baseline.
I've never had a problem with Ewoks. I've never had that people were like, "Oh, they're stupid and they shouldn't have existed and their eyelids didn't need to exist."
It was originally going to be Wookiees before it became Ewoks.
That would have been much better.
That would have been so much better.
Yes, that would have been much better. But
actual creatures
I've never actually had an issue with the fact that Ewoks existed because of, I mean, obviously the time in the universe when that took, not Star Wars universe, the time in our life when that took place as a child, I was fine with it, obviously. Just it was the 80s or 80, right?
83 is when Jedi came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very much of the time, I think.
You didn't see it around then though. When did you see
Return
of the Jedi?
As a film, it was, I think, having those little cutesy creatures was very of the time. You know, stuff like having stuff like
when did Gremlins come out?
Gremlins, that was in the 80s as well, I think. Mid 80s.
Early 80s, right? 84.
84.
Right after that.
Like it's very of that time to me when I see it. And then obviously as a kid, as a child, I thought they were fun. I never thought Jar Jar was fun.
No, yeah, me neither.
as a
But I never thought Ewoks were fun.
18 or something like that.
I always thought,
Really?
why are these stupid little bears?
Huh.
Why is everybody trusting these stupid little bears that try to eat everyone?
Because they're cute.
They're not cute.
And then obviously they probably eat people because they like collected helmets off of stormtroopers, and I'm assuming they subsist off of flesh. So at some point there was a horrific scene of them like stripping flesh from the bones of stormtroopers.
They're
that
carnivores. They were trying to cook Luke and everybody else.
Yeah.
They eat those people.
At
they
some
eat
point,
people.
I assume when they like dove on stormtroopers, like hitting them with sticks, and then it like cut to another scene. Right when it cut, they were like ripping the armor off and digging into their chests and just covering themselves in blood.
But that doesn't make them cool.
Makes them cooler. You get attacked by like a double-sized koala, and it start beating you with rocks and trying to rip your flesh off, and see how you like it.
No, it's not. It's not good.
Yes, Wookiees would have been better, but I never had a problem with Ewoks.
I'm looking around for things that were in movies in the early 80s, little creatures like that, and I'm not. Everything was after Jedi.
So they started.
So did they? Yeah. Did they start? Did
the little creature boom of the mid 80s?
Oh, this is not good.
That's actually something I want to look into now.
What?
Did the not Last Jedi, did Return of the Jedi start the small creature boom of the mid 80s?
The little 80s. The little 80s.
The little 80s. Like Gremlins and, all of that.
Here's
that'd be very interesting to look into.
Related search: movie with little creatures in the basement.
Isn't that
what
just
is this?
Every horror movie?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark movie.
Sure. All right. So yeah, Porgs, Ewoks, the tiny creatures in Star Wars. It's nothing new.
That's so bad. Why did they feel like they had to? Oh, I hope these things aren't like Ewoks. Why did they feel like they had to bring that back?
They're just going to be cute little creatures. I doubt they're going to talk or do anything like that.
I hope they're just
because we saw like cute things like like one's going to be on R2's head or whatever.
Are they going to be like the rocks that Luke was trying to stack in Empire?
We floating them around, stacking them on each other,
kicking them, pushing them with the Force.
Ray's just going to be
little
just
props,
dicing them, practicing lightsaber training.
No.
Luke will be like chucking porgs at her, and she'll be blocking them because they don't have the training droid.
Yeah.
So Luke's just going to be blindfolded her and then just chuck porgs at her, and she'll have to.
Luke is blindfolded
and chucking them.
Yeah, that's what you just said. That's what you just said. Luke is blindfolded.
Everyone's blindfolded, chucking porgs, and Ray's just swinging.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they eat dinner.
She's over
because
here.
Because a lightsaber can cook a porg.
Luke's over there, chucking porgs out into the water. And Ray's just swinging around. Not related. Unrelated events.
Same wide shot. Just neither of them are connected with each other. Left side of the frame, Ray's just swinging wildly in the air. Right side of the frame, Luke's just chucking porgs off the cliff edge. We don't know why. It's just happening.
Don't question the process.
He's brining them in the ocean for further dinner needs.
Retrieve them later. Speaking of the ocean.
Yes?
Luke's X-Wing is in the ocean.
Apparently.
Talking about something being brined.
Talking about briny. Yeah, so there's an official image from official Star Wars image from The Last Jedi with Rey and Luke, and then the bottom left of it is an underwater X-Wing.
Mm-hmm. And it's the T-70 X-Wing, the new one.
Yeah.
That we see in
the
Force Awakens. It doesn't look like, the picture's kind of crappy.
Yeah, it doesn't look totally wrecked. I'm thinking it looks more like it's just like covered in algae and schmutz from the ocean.
There's a wing kind of broken off a little bit. So it's like it's been there for a while.
Yeah.
So is this
assuming that's the X-Wing Luke took to Acto, right?
Some upgraded X-Wing that he has? I assume.
Yeah, I assume it's whatever. It's an X-Wing that he took.
It is an X-Wing. We can confirm that.
I don't know if it's necessarily like if he has a special X-Wing. I don't feel like Luke would have a special ship. He doesn't seem like that kind of person to me.
Yeah, he would just have a ship.
He would just take the X-Wing that
whatever
he had.
Yeah, maybe.
Standard issue X-Wing.
Well, branding 101 though. You want to
Well, we need a new toy, so we have the
merch,
Luke's
I
X-Wing.
guess. Merchandise
It has a blue
101.
stripe on the
Yeah.
left
This
foot.
is Luke's.
Yeah. So I'm
It's
guessing
got Luke
I'm
written on
guessing
it
he
in
flew an
Comic
X-wing
Sans.
to Acto and then just dumped it in the water.
It's got Luke written on it in Comic Sans. Pink Comic Sans on the side. It's Luke's X-Wing.
Great.
It says that, Luke's X-Wing. It's Luke's X-Wing. It says that.
It's like a vinyl wrap on one of the wings.
With a wizard on the side. That's the only thing I think of when I hear vinyl wrap.
Like an airbrushed wizard.
A cloudy wizard, and his head is all like weird and bubbly and smooth for some reason. And there's clouds everywhere, and he's like,
Are you thinking of like an 80s metal van?
yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of when I think of vinyl wrap. A wizard van.
Sure, a wizard van.
Enter the wizard van.
Ooh.
See the delights within. Encounter the wizard. And all his bubbles.
So that's what you do on the weekends.
I encounter the wizard. Yes.
Or you are the wizard. I can't decide.
I don't know how many times I've texted you. Please come over and encounter the wizard with me.
Help, I'm encountering a wizard. Come quick.
You want to encounter the wizard tonight?
Great. So I'm guessing that's the one he took to Acto and then just dumped it. I mean, it
Yeah, I
looks like
guess.
it could be kind of messed up. So
It
was he literally just planning on dumping himself there with no way out?
Well, yeah, that's what you said. You said earlier it doesn't look wrecked. So it's not like he wrecked here and couldn't get off,
But it may be
right?
broken, like, he may have just dumped it there and it may be broken. I mean, like you said, it looks like there may be some pieces off.
Yeah.
Was his plan to just go to Acto and just stay there forever
I
and
think
never
so.
be involved again with anything?
I think so. I think I don't know, maybe he realized have we talked about this before? Maybe he realized his significance in the galaxy,
Mhm.
how he has to remain hidden,
Yeah, and we've talked about how obviously we know from the teaser that the Jedi must end type of thing. So
Yeah.
his train of thought is that there needs to be a change in the Force, the process, the Jedi, the Sith, all of that.
Yeah.
But up until now, I kind of thought he just went there to study his books or research in the temple, not really fully just planning to never return.
Do you said up until now? You
Up
thought
until
that?
this photo
Oh.
of the fact that it
Really?
looks like he just
You never
dumped his
thought-
X-Wing. He was obviously staying hidden because of Snoke and Kylo and whatever else, but
Yeah. You thought he went here
did he come to his conclusion that the
connect to
Jedi
the
must
Force?
end before going there or after being there and studying these books?
Hmm.
If he dumped his X-Wing, it now makes me think that he came to that conclusion beforehand and
Yeah.
then just brought some reading material along to study.
Yeah.
Was he
that's
ever planning
interesting.
on trying
So-
to fix the problem or just go and hide and be done with it?
That's interesting. You say that about the books because
Why bring those if he already decided it needed to be done?
did he find them on Acto?
Or they were at that first temple.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing.
So that's interesting. So did he find something in his search, like
Mhm.
these books, for example, on Acto, if that's where they are? Did he find something in this search that convinced him that the Jedi must end? Or is this something he has been convinced of since the whole Kylo mess? Ben
That's
being
what I'm leaning to
turned
now.
and all that. Well, which one do you think it is, though? Do you
So
think
now that
it's-
I see a dumped X-wing, I think he decided that the Jedi needed to end, then ran away basically to hide,
Oh, okay.
and maybe he now found these books and is probably still under the impression that the Jedi need to end, or
See, that's the line I'm trying to
that's
figure
what I'm
out.
trying to figure out, or did
Is he-
what he found out in the books
Right.
make him decide the Jedi needed to
Right.
end?
That's the line I'm trying to figure out. Was he convinced, like, because of something he found, some old, I don't know, teaching or lore or something that convinced him that,
The
This
Jedi
Jedi
way has
order-
been misconstrued. At some point,
Right.
it got misconstrued from what the purpose was in the beginning.
right.
So it's not really the Jedi anymore. It's this
the
teaching.
Jedi have kind of been the cause of this whole chain of events, you know, which
totally.
is basically true.
Yeah.
In a way. Or it not maybe not the cause, but the like a catalyst.
They didn't.
I guess.
Yeah, they didn't help.
Right.
But yeah, so if there's a dumped X-wing, so if he dumped his X-wing with no plans on using it again, then he ran away to hide. But that would make me think that he had decided the Jedi needed to end. But at the same time, maybe he dumped it after he got to the island and found the books and figured something out. And was like, screw this, I need to stay here because it's just going to hurt people if I am around anymore.
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this something he was convinced of after finding out some new information? Or is this something he was just, you know, he was like, screw it, after Ben, I'm going, I'm never coming back. This is
yeah.
I mean, when you think about what's been said about The Last Jedi so far, how it's going in a different direction
than what we think
it will. This is going to be something unexpected. I'm wondering if this whole deal of exploring, you know, the outer limits of the Force, so to speak.
Yeah.
If there's something that Luke finds out in his journey for knowledge or whatever in these books or whatever it ends up being, that convinces him that, oh, we've been wrong all along, or there's some new information that nobody's found before or has been buried, or, you know, something like that. That's convinced him that the Jedi need to be over. We need to be out of this way of interacting with the Force or whatever, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, the more I think about it, the more it's probably more likely that the whole Kylo thing was what started his, okay, I need to go figure out what am I doing wrong. And then he finds these books and was like, oh, well, everything I know is wrong. And I'm part of the problem. And so he dumps himself on Acto once he finds that out and then just stays.
Right.
That's likely, I think, where it would most likely
think so
go.
Too. Yeah.
But of course, there's a couple ways they could go with it because, like they said, there's the way the movie is going is not the way we expect it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to finally find out what Luke's story is going to be.
I mean,
how did he get to where he's at?
We're doing that thing that we've always made fun of everyone else for doing. We're taking one thing and extrapolating a bunch of stuff that we don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we always do because we.
Well, like if you.
Just like anyone listening, sitting around with your friends, like, oh, did you see that picture of Luke's X-wing underwater?
Oh yeah,
what do you think? I mean, that's our
I know
shtick.
I know. I'm saying, think about why he wouldn't have the ship sitting on the island somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why would he not have it?
Did he go there to dump it, or did he dump it once he got there and figured out?
Right.
Oh shit.
What was it? Yeah, basically boiling it down to what's his purpose for going to Acto, and why hasn't he left?
Yeah. Well, apparently he doesn't plan to leave now with a underwater X-wing.
Well, that's the thing. Did he plan that, or did he crash it? And like we were saying from the pictures, it doesn't look like he wrecked it.
Looks like he just dumped it in the water and it's been there for a while.
Yeah, maybe. I can't.
So it looks fairly messed up, but the picture is also not a super great. It is an official picture, but it's not an official StarWars.com release.
It looks like a screen grab from part of a poster. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what it really is?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm leaning towards Luke finds some piece of information from everything that we've found out so far. These little bits of information. Luke finds something that convinces him that this can't go on anymore. And I'm still trying to figure out how to reconcile that with his personal feelings about what happened with Ben.
Yeah.
Because I could totally see him being ready to just drop it and never go back after that.
Oh, I'm sure. And
so
from people that have seen pictures of Luke on set and in stuff, and almost all of them have said they've never seen him with a lightsaber on him yet.
Yes.
He always he has a staff. He has like a wooden staff with like a weird like lizard dragon head thing on the top, and then he has that like cattle prod thing. for poking porgs, I guess. I don't know what it's for. Maybe at night they
Hey, welcome to Poking Porgs.
maybe at night they like go insane and start trying to eat you. I don't know.
Like cats.
Sure. Yeah, porgs are island cats. So yeah, it's interesting that Luke hasn't, from everyone that has seen stuff that hasn't been released to the public, that as of yet he has not had his lightsaber even on him.
Yeah.
So his green lightsaber, did he even take it there with him? Did he dump that in his X-wing in the water?
I mean, this could be exactly like the whole Finn with the lightsaber deal from Force Awakens, where we never saw Rey with the lightsaber, but obviously it was intended for her.
Yeah.
The entire time. So
we don't see Luke with the lightsaber, but now Phasma will have one. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting for. That's what I'm getting at.
She found one in the trash compactor, and now she's a Jedi.
It was Luke's.
How? What? It flew through.
It will all be revealed.
His other lightsaber flew through space. Sure, why not? Well,
which, by the way, from I don't know, did we say last episode that? Oh yeah, we did. Just that Finn is gonna have a fight with Phasma at some point,
like an actual fight this time.
Yeah, we mentioned that last time.
Not just a hey, stop it, jump in the trash,
get it,
get out of here. Going back to San Diego Comic-Con, there was among many book announcements, there is a Thrawn miniseries comic coming out.
Yes,
finally, from Marvel.
It looks really good.
Yeah, so the
idea sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know
so
anything about it.
A Marvel comic editor was saying that Thrawn was one of her favorite characters since she first read him in Heir to the Empire, and saying that she's been pushing for a Thrawn comic, and for him to finally come to Marvel is a dream come true. But someone tweeted her asking, "Is this the same story as the novel or something new?" And she said both.
Bleh.
So maybe
filling in gaps, maybe?
Filling in some of the story from the novel.
Interesting.
Or it will
making references to it, maybe?
Or maybe it might be up to start somewhere near the end of the novel and go forward. I don't know.
Yeah.
There might be a quick flash through of the
Or
Academy.
is this his origin coming from the Chiss and being dropped off?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sweet.
So if you haven't read the book, spoilers, Thrawn was, found on a planet.
Whoops, that's a pretty big.
Yeah. So Thrawn was found on a planet that, apparently exiled from his people. And then you find out at the end of the book that it was the plan all along for them to think that he was exiled, and the Chiss just sent him to find out information, basically.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool if it's more of the origin story going into the novel.
Yeah.
And seeing the whole plan, or what their plan was for everything.
Right.
Why they're scared, what they're worried about, all of that. Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Because that would get into the whole, like you said, what the Chiss are scared of. This evil force that
other evil
keeps
force
being
that
alluded to.
Yeah,
everywhere else. Yeah, maybe unknown regions junk. Maybe something like that.
That would be really cool.
Yep.
There was a whole slew of books announced. All that Road to the Last Jedi books. There's a Mace Windu Jedi of the Republic comic coming out.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That could be interesting.
As always, there's all the incredible cross-section books, all of that. There's a book called Star Wars Canto Bight. That's one of the Journey to Star Wars The Last Jedi books. I'm assuming it might... it doesn't say if any of these are or are not full novels versus young adult. I'm assuming most of them are young adults, because full novels are usually a pretty big announcement. There's a Canto Bight book.
Does it say when the Mace Windu one is coming out?
It does not.
Okay.
No.
Because I'm reading the new Darth Vader series right now, which is really good. And Darth Maul.
Yeah.
And the next issue of Darth Maul, the cover is Mace Windu.
Nice.
So I'm wondering if
that's interesting.
I don't know, maybe those will tie together somehow.
That'd be pretty cool.
Just cool how that kind of fits together.
Yeah. Of course, among other books, there's still the Legends of Luke Skywalker book by Ken Liu, the Claudia Gray Leia book,
Mm-hmm.
the
And Phasma.
Delilah Dawson Phasma book,
And the miniseries.
the Phasma Comics miniseries.
Yep.
There's a couple, there's all the like activity books and all of that stuff they announced. There's a book called Star Wars Stormtroopers Beyond the Armor, which could be pretty interesting, giving...
Sounds like a behind the scenes kind of thing, maybe.
Maybe I'm thinking maybe, and the cover has what looks like the old Stormtrooper helmet on it.
Yeah.
So maybe like some more info on like their training, their whole story, like from Academy and on, which I think was.
Is this a book or is this a behind the scenes kind of deal?
It's called Stormtroopers Behind the Armor. I'm thinking there was a book in the old, it was EU. There was a book that explained. It was basically like a book that talked about all the tactics and all the army, all like the navy stuff of the Empire. That talked about like the various.
When was that?
I can't remember what it was called.
Was that recently?
No, well, in like the last maybe 5 years, something like that.
Tactics of.
It was like talking about like all the military aspects of the Empire. It was like a book just talking about the military, basically, as if it was a real military book.
Okay.
So this one's called Stormtroopers Beyond the Armor. So I think it'd be interesting if it's like about stormtroopers, like their training, their equipment, their like everything. I think that would be pretty cool. It doesn't look like a picture book. It looks like it might be like an actual book or maybe a visual dictionary. I don't know.
Okay.
There's a children's book called Chewie and the Porgs, which looks super cute, and I'm sure my son will end up having it.
Oh boy. Porgs.
There's a book called Cobalt Squadron, which is from a New York Times bestselling author, Elizabeth Wine. She wrote Codename Variety and Rose Under Fire. I don't know what either of those are. But it's about the courageous bomber pilots and technicians of Cobalt Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
And janitors, apparently, because Rose is on the cover.
It looks like Rose on the cover, but if Rose is just the like facilities engineer that they said she was, maybe she's also a technician, maybe a technician of Cobalt Squadron.
That's what I'm thinking.
She maintains the space
toilet
torpedo tubes.
That's what they call toilets in space. Torpedo tubes.
Sure. Yeah. Just launch them right out. Of course, the always beautiful art of Star Wars, the Star Wars books. This is the one for The Last Jedi.
The release for the visual dictionary, the release date for that came out too, December 15th.
And of course, announced that Pablo was doing that one as well.
Yep.
As
pre-order that. I've got that in my wish list to pre-order.
So many activity books for children, and then of course the junior novelization of The Last Jedi, as well as the full novelization. With the full novelization being written by Jason Fry.
Sweet.
So lots and lots
of stuff
of books to
release dates
get through,
for things.
And almost all of those coming out December 15th.
Yeah.
Because of course, no information until day of release.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think this time I want to get the novelization. I didn't with Force Awakens. I don't know why.
just read the parts that people posted online that were different from
really,
but I did want to read it.
Because I think I might do that this time.
There's a lot more of the internal dialogue stuff that you don't get in the film.
And I'm thinking with this being a Rian Johnson movie, it's going to be kind of dense.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the novelization, I'm wondering if the novelization will help with that in a way. Maybe unpack some of the stuff, tell it from a different point of view, things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want to try to do that this time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then also coming out of Comic-Con, there was like a whole display set up with some characters and costumes. Of course, Nyan Num was there and BB-8, and then another character in an X-Wing, not costume, an X-Wing pilot uniform. So it had it was the same race as Elo Atsi. And the placard said that, it says a skillful fighter pilot of Abednego race, Sai Threnali, flies as Poe Dameron's wingman following the evacuation of Dakar.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of...
So at some point they leave Dakar.
At the end of Force Awakens, they were all still on Dakar doing the big grease, everybody waving by to Rey flying away in her Corvette or whatever they flew away at the end of Grease in. But
the Falcon. They flew away in the Falcon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Falcon, not Corvette. Got it. Did you not? You don't know what Grease is, do you?
Huh?
Do you know what Grease is? The movie?
It's a movie.
Yes. At the end of the film, they literally fly away in a car.
No.
Don't ask. They do.
What?
Yep. Everyone's waving goodbye because I don't know why.
I've never seen Grease.
Well, you should. Anyways, so I guess they were all still on Dakar with no reason to necessarily evacuate yet, I guess. So at some point, there's an evacuation of Dakar. I'm assuming they come under attack after
they just destroyed the First Order's biggest
The fact that
base.
they launched an attack from Dakar, I'm assuming an attack is coming to Dakar now.
Yeah.
Off of the destruction of a planet.
Yeah.
So
Laura Dern plays an officer in the Resistance, right? In this movie?
Yeah, she's like a higher up. I don't know what she is. If she's a general or a commander or something.
And
like
we
that.
were theorizing that she was a Republic commander that's kind of been forced.
At least I think our same theory was that she obviously the Republic was all basically destroyed, and there may have been some of the fleet still out and about, and
Right.
she is part of that. That wasn't necessarily all for the Resistance existing, but now has to fight with the Resistance because that's all that's left.
Right.
And then I'm thinking there's some butting of heads at that point because it sounded like her character is going to be butting heads with people. So that's my theory of her character.
Okay.
So at some point, I'm assuming it may be that Dakar gets attacked, and then this other fleet, unknown, Republic fleet shows up to help.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, is this a fleet that's helping this evacuation, or is it
causing the evacuation? They just start attacking. You assholes!
Same side. Team kill. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's safe to assume that Dakar would have been evacuated because they had just launched a major attack from there and destroyed a whole planet of First Order people. I don't know how much fleet the First Order has left since that planet was caked in it.
Huh?
Caked in
the
units.
What? Caked in units?
Sure.
What are you trying to say? What does that mean? What is
Starkiller Base? There was so much of a fleet on Starkiller Base. I don't know how much was actually destroyed with the
fleet,
destruction.
like the Navy fleet.
Yes,
was on Starkiller Base.
You remember when they were all standing out there watching the giant laser?
There were
blast
some
into space?
troops there. Yeah,
there was like all of them were there.
Wasn't all of them?
There were walkers in the background and ships in the background.
Yeah, there was a force there. It couldn't have been all of their troops.
Pretty massive. So, but how much rest of fleet do they have? If that's a sentence.
How much rest of fleet do they have? Yes.
No, like,
sure.
I don't know. Obviously, there was all the fleet that was in space and all the fighting that was happening up there.
Well, now they're going to have this giant Star Destroyer.
The Super Star Destroyer.
Out there. Yeah, that's even bigger than the Executor
which
class.
I'm guessing is the one that Snoke is maybe on.
Yeah.
Which
by the way,
Snoke. Speaking of Snoke,
some of the where was this image leaked from? Do you remember? There was an image leaked.
Well, there's the Lego figure is one of them.
That's what I mean.
But there's some.
Is that from one of the new?
There's
kits?
some other images that have been seen but not released from people in the know.
And yeah, Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars he posted an article about how.
I don't know if it was Jason that posted the article, but yeah.
Was it? I thought it was Jason.
It may have been.
We don't know him. Like we said, we have no connections to anybody in
the
this.
only show with absolutely no connections. It's just us,
just
talking,
just farting around with no idea.
The only thing we know is Star Wars.
If you want to connect,
75% of the time,
hit us up. Oh, our Star Wars knowledge is unrivaled. We just can't remember anybody's names.
That's true.
Right?
Together we can remember nothing but know it all. Great.
It's everything is possible.
Yes.
That Zombocom.
Anyways, Snoke's beautiful, sexy blue eyes.
Yes, his blue eyes.
Apparently, he has striking blue eyes, like
And
a sexy model.
apparently human skin, like pinkish
Pink skin.
So not like alien. He's not like a gray alien dude.
With like age spots and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like alien smooth, like perfectly like white or pale skin.
Yeah.
Apparently he has
So this is a guy
two
with
holes like in his neck, like in his throat.
Well, he's all fucked up.
Yeah, but apparently there's like open holes in his like neck.
Oh.
Into like Two-Face like open jaw hole, but like that, like in his neck. Apparently there's like two like open
but healed
like,
over
tracheostomies.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healed over. I think there's like action open from what the description was. There's like open wounds, holes in his neck.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, get that figured out.
Yeah.
Guy.
Obviously his head is all kinds of jacked up.
So he's got striking blue eyes. He's got not alien skin from what we've heard. And he wears gold.
Gold robes, like gold corduroy.
So this dude does not sound like
he knows anything.
The all-powerful leader of the Sith, or even like master of the dark side of the Force.
Yeah, so this guy, is he just the venture capitalist of the First Order? Is he the VC that like funded this? And so they have to like, he's the money guy. We can't. He wants us to find Luke. I guess we do it.
Is he the equivalent of Thrawn, the way Thrawn is to the Chiss? Where Thrawn was kind of a representative of the Chiss.
But he's representative of whoever else.
Of powers that may be greater than him.
It's like I was saying last episode, is he just the mouth of Sauron?
Yeah.
But for whatever this other evil is that they keep alluding to.
Right. Is he the representative of this bigger force?
It's I mean, he's giving orders to Kylo. He's giving orders to, fire Starkiller base and all of that. He's in charge.
Yeah. The First Order relies on him to make those kind of calls. But he's also
not
obviously trained in the way of the dark side of the Force, at least. Maybe he has some level of Force training that he's teaching Kylo.
I would assume because Leia even says that he seduced Ben to the dark side.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Right. So he's definitely some kind of
acolyte,
Force trained. Yeah.
Is he like Tashu, but actually knows how to use it?
I doubt he's related to not related.
But I'm saying, is he like that, like an advisor, or like a not to Palpatine, but just like a Sith? Because advisor Tashu had like all this knowledge of the Sith and a history, and was all about the dark side, but he couldn't do shit with it. Other than he just said he felt it and all the time, and was telling these little kids to put on masks and murder people.
But he never trained the kids, did he? In the dark side,
He just like the kids had dark dreams that.
Right, these are kids. That's what I'm saying.
Basically.
Are these kids that were already connected to the Force and felt the pull
he
of
like
the dark side
encouraged them
already?
and gave them Sith artifacts to then like murder people with.
Okay, so he aided them, but he didn't teach them.
Exactly. Whereas Snoke seems like he could have trained, or at least might have
Snoke
some use or more actual physical knowledge of the Force.
Yeah, right. I think he's almost the opposite of that. He trained Kylo, not just an aid.
Not great so far.
Well, that could just be Rey being powerful, Or
Kylo just being shit.
Well, he's a whiny bitch. Sure.
Yeah, of course he is.
But that doesn't mean. That's why even Snoke was surprised that Rey resisted Kylo.
Yes, and Snoke, and it's funny because in his hologram and all of that, he comes across so menacing and.
Yeah, but he does. That's what I'm
evil,
saying.
But we're hearing that he has like blue eyes, like pale skin with like liver spots and tracheostomies and gold robes, and he's just like some old dude.
So he's just a space Republican. Is that what he is?
Great, sure. So he's just this old. He's just this old Sith dude. Like, is that what?
Yeah, what makes him evil?
Or is
what
he
makes
the
him
opposite? Or is he like Palpatine in that he makes himself look, or he took on this like old persona to fake
Yeah.
people out of his power, but instead of being like old and evil, he's like old and rich. Like
Same thing.
he turned into like,
Same
he's
thing.
like hedonism bot. It's just
He is. He's hedonism bot. He
he's got
really
his gold
is.
robes, and maybe he's like laying on a chaise lounge and people are feeding him grapes, and it's all just it's a ruse. And he's actually amazing at fighting with a lightsaber or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. I mean, we talked about this before. I don't think he has a lightsaber. And I'm starting to think now that
is he even a Force user?
He isn't
like an
the
active
ultimate
Force, like an actual Force user, or is he just?
I think so. Yes, I think so, because he talks about the Force has awakened. I felt it. Obviously, he's a Force user. He has a connection to the Force. But is he the ultimate evil?
And yeah, I'm fully in the camp of no, that Snoke is fully a red herring.
Right.
That, and of course everyone keeps saying this movie's not going the way you think it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I think all of this stuff with Snoke is he is just the mouth of Sauron. There's a much greater evil that they're going to have to fight, and he's just the guy in charge of things while this guy's off being like chief of evil.
The thing is, I have no idea what that is.
I mean, yeah, it's this growing darkness. It's that power outside of the it's in the unknown regions, that darkness that's growing and that the Chiss recognize, and that's mentioned in multiple other books of there's like, Palpatine realized, like, felt this evil force.
Yeah. You're right.
And there's something else, and I don't think it's Snoke.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't carry himself like that anyway, as the ultimate evil, the end all.
Yeah, I think he's just. I think he is.
And like you said, he was set up in Force Awakens to be the next Palpatine, but
I don't think it's him.
Right, but if Last Jedi is not going to go the way that we expect it, then
well, even before people started saying that, just with this description of Snoke, that's just like, I don't think
it kind of
I don't think it's
casts some doubt on that,
I think he's obviously in charge of the First Order, and he may be the Tarkin to someone's Vader. I mean, to the Vader of this,
maybe, yeah, like the advisor, the tactician.
Yeah, instead of Tarkin, like a Tarkin with Force knowledge, essentially.
Right. That role, I know what you mean.
Like if Tarkin and Vader made sweet love and had a weird,
keep going,
a weird wrinkle baby.
Yes,
and then that was Snoke. That's that. Those things.
This is those.
Yeah.
This came from those. Is that what you're saying?
They don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like if Tarkin had Vader's either power or knowledge of the Force. Like, that's what Snoke is, I think.
That's what it seems like.
And then there's some other emperor.
Tarkin, not Thrawn. It's a good distinction to make.
Yes.
Not Thrawn. Because Tarkin was he cared more about status.
It was more about status and power.
Yeah, and this guy seems like...
And Thrawn was more about doing good for all, as long as it's also good for his people.
More of the long-term strategy.
Yes.
Whereas Tarkin was, he was more gaining political power, and
he knew how to play the game, and it was about him being in charge, essentially.
Yes.
And I think that Snoke is basically that. He's flashy.
Yeah. That's what it seems
He obviously knows what he's doing, but he's flashy and wants people to know that he's in charge. Kind of from his description, how I feel it's coming across.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
And he's just in charge of like Tarkin, he's in charge of all military activity, but then there's this emperor-esque or other greater evil that we have no idea what it is, and it's super horrible. And they're going to have to fight it in Act 3, being Episode 9.
But how would you introduce that? How would you introduce this greater evil that no one has ever heard from any of the other movies?
I think that I think that Snoke will be dead by Act 2 of The Last Jedi.
That's a pretty strong call. I don't know if I take that. I don't know about dead.
I think that Snoke
this
will
movie.
die. I think that Snoke will die in The Last Jedi. And it will be
I don't
somewhat near
know.
the end of the movie.
I think he will not die and will be revealed whatever he really is. I think that will be revealed. And then it'll be wrapped up
I think it'll be
in 9.
revealed, and that's when he dies. Like that's where I'm leaning.
I don't see how you could set up Snoke to be the villain that he is just from watching the movie, not reading anything else in the extended universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Just watching Force Awakens. I don't know how they could set that up to be this
Because
ultimate bad guy.
You have to reveal the greater evil first, and then Snoke dies.
Yeah, but how do you convince people it's the greater evil when they've already set up? I mean,
yeah.
And now you're saying, "Oh, never mind, that was all."
Well,
that
I mean,
was all
I think
fake. There's actually
Snoke's going to be revealed as this flashy character fairly early in the movie.
Yeah,
and we're going to see more of Snoke as a actual thing walking around and like talking to people. I'm not
saying that that there's no potential for this greater evil thing. I'm saying I don't think you can take Snoke away that quickly and just say, okay, well now you have to worry about this greater evil.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to set it up by mid movie that there's greater evil, and then that greater evil would have to show up in Act 3.
Yeah.
And it would I have even smaller inkling that Snoke would die by whoever his boss is, but not by Luke or Rey or Kylo.
That's interesting.
That like he's failed.
Even though we've heard
Snoke has failed him, whoever this other it is, like Snoke has failed that person, that thing.
Even though we've heard
in some way from Luke coming back or whatever.
He's on this Super Star Destroyer and they're going after him.
Yeah.
You don't think that's if he does die, that's how he would die?
Could be, which I'm assuming that's the ship that Finn and Rose get on.
Yeah.
So
right.
Possibly. But that would also be kind of a lame death for him.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Maybe they destroy that ship and Snoke gets away, and then it's revealed at the end, like Snoke shows up to talk to what this greater evil is.
Maybe.
Kind of like a
and it's Palpatine.
Great. Kind of like in Rogue One where he goes to meet Vader type of thing. Like Vader's there. And it's like that kind of reveal, like near the end, maybe.
Yeah,
if Snoke doesn't die.
What are you talking about?
Like in Rogue One when like the reveal of Vader.
Oh.
Yeah. So like Snoke gets away from his Superstar Destroyer being destroyed and he goes to wherever this power, whoever's actually in charge is.
Yeah.
And he shows up and like that's the reveal of the bigger care of the whoever's in charge of things. I think that thing will be revealed at the end of the movie. I don't think it will be before. I don't think it will be,
something to think about.
Super involved in the movie.
I mean, there's definitely, I definitely get this feeling that Snoke is not who he's made out to be.
I'm fully off I'm fully off of the whole hype train of like, who's Snoke? What's Snoke? Let's figure out our Snoke's theory. I'm fully off of the Snoke. It's just Snoke was
doesn't matter.
Always a red herring.
Distraction.
Yeah, he is just distracting us from there actually being something else.
He's not who he makes himself out to be in Force Awakens. That's where I stand right now. I don't know what he is. I don't know.
He's not what they led us to believe he is.
I don't know if there is an ultimate evil, or whatever, outside of Snoke. But yeah, he's definitely not who he makes himself out to be.
Yeah, and I would love more of that story of the First Order coming up too that we started getting in the Bloodline book. Of like them being funded essentially from various people throughout the Republic, through the Senate and all of that. And like who really instigated and started that?
The First Order?
Yeah. That Leia came upon.
Yeah.
Them training on that planet.
Well,
and having all those stocks in that underwater city, all of that.
I thought it was just a bunch of senators. Like there was a whole group of senators.
Yeah, they were all funding it, but
that liked the Empire, obviously.
And they were funding this First Order.
Yeah.
But how did that start? Like who's instigating it? Who's in charge of that happening?
I think it was all political. I don't know if there was a greater, unless like at the end of Aftermath, like you were saying, when everybody shows up in the unknown regions at
Mhm.
that drop point or whatever it was,
Yeah.
that they find something and bring it
Yeah.
back.
I don't think the First Order. I mean, obviously, the First Order is under Snoke and all of this. It had to have started for a reason,
Yeah.
and the
Right.
funding was requested. So who has that vision? Is it Snoke? Did he have the vision to see the mastermind of the military planning and all of that?
Right. Or
Is he
is
the
this something,
Tarkin / Thrawn, or
is this
was
something
there
bigger?
something else that started that?
right? It's something to think about.
So
We'll
Snoke
see,
doesn't
only
matter. The end.
That's what we're.
Stop talking about him.
Yes. Yes.
He's got holes in his neck and pretty blue eyes.
Anyone with a hole in your neck, I mean, they don't matter. Really. I mean, really think about it. Think of everyone you know that has a hole in their neck besides their mouth.
Wait. When is your mouth in your
In
neck?
addition to your mouth, I should say, not instead of.
Okay. Why was your mouth ever on your neck?
It's connected. It's all one piece. If you pull your mouth out, your neck comes with it.
I guess I can't argue that.
You can't. Infallible.
Nope, it's
My argument stands.
airtight.
Yep.
Not your mouth, but this case. Anyways,
We're
that's
done.
been enough of us.
We're done here.
All right. If you enjoy listening to our show, please go on iTunes and leave us a review or as many stars as you deem appropriate. It is very helpful to help people find our show without you having to walk up to them on the street and
Here's a
shake
review.
them vigorously.
If you don't know how to give reviews or type or have thoughts on your own, here's what you should do on iTunes. Go on there and type Snoke doesn't matter. This podcast is great.
There you go.
Exclamation point. But spell that out. Don't put the mark. Exclamation point. Comma.
Exclamation
Exclamation
point.
point. And then an actual exclamation point at the end of that.
Great. Perfect.
Put that on iTunes. There's your review.
Yes.
Leave us a review. Give us 1 star and give the same review. I don't care. Just put that review on iTunes.
Yeah. Please do that. Of course, you can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at Hokey_religion. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us anywhere that sounds come out of.
Did you say Facebook already?
Facebook.
Did you say Twitter?
I said Twitter. All of the sound making
Email. You
websites.
can email us at asklobot@gmail.com. Send us your
just at gmail.com.
right? No, that's not
There's
right.
there's usually a domain.
Nope.
There's
I'm
asklobot
thinking
at
of the other one.
hokyreligion.com.
Think of the other one that forwards to the Gmail address.
It's at hokyreligion.com. So asklobot at hokyreligion.com.
asklobot@hokyreligion.com.
There you go.
Send us your questions and your nudes and your.
No, great. Oh no.
Send us. I don't know. Send us.
The show for Star Wars nerds. We don't want those. Of course, if you enjoy the show, you can always support us by going to patreon.com/hokyreligion. And we post the live streams of the episodes there, so you can watch us be a bunch of idiots.
Eventually, we'll do other things there.
And we
so
want to do other stuff, but
get in on the ground floor.
get in on the ground floor
That
at the
matters.
same place you'll get off. This elevator is going nowhere.
it's a building with 1 floor, and it'll always have 1 floor.
That's not an elevator, sir. It's just a closet.
Get in the closet now while you still can.
Oh, great. All right. This has been another episode of Hokey Religion. This is Tyler.
And this is Michael.
Goodbye.
Hokey religion is an ancient weapon. Hokey religion is an ancient weapon. There's no magic for a good blaster at your side.